As for us, we could take advantage. Oh my god. What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video, we've got another My Team career mode video for you guys. So quickly, just before we actually get into the session itself, I've re-signed Callum Ilott. I know that some of you guys said not to, but there's a few reasons as why I did. The main reason why I did is obviously just due to lack of money compared to some of the guys around. A lot of the guys that were roughly the same price didn't really think it was worth it. I think the only person that I would have probably gone for out of everyone there would have probably been Felipe Massa. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try and save money and then try and go for a better guy eventually. But for now, we're going to try and just build up the team and just use the money more efficiently with that. So heading into this next race, we're going to have some penalties, it looks like, just because I needed to get a new control electronics, or else it was a bit of a mad one. We're probably going to go through another Spain situation, but we're going to leave it there. If you like this video, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get straight into Silverstone, our home Grand Prix. Okay guys, so as you can see from the screen, we did change our control electronics and our internal combustion engine before we went into free practice. I decided during free practice to just simply go for an entire new engine. It makes sense. We got a 10 place grid penalty for changing our ICE anyway. So either way, we were most likely going to be starting last. So we might as well go with a brand new engine. So yeah, we're going to be skipping qualifying due to that. And we're just going to be going straight into the race. We're going to be starting last. And it's interesting to see where I can actually get myself to. Starting last in the worst car on the grid. Okay then guys, so yes, starting last. I've noticed that everyone around us is starting on the soft compound, so yeah, we're gonna have to try and be very aggressive at the start of this race just to try and gain a good couple of positions. Our teammate is not too far ahead of us. Once we get onto the grid place, then obviously the race will begin. So let's get ready for our home GP and let's see if we can at least get a decent amount up the field. Maybe even try and get some points if things go our way. But here we go, guys. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights for our home GP in Season 1 of My Team. And lights out, away we go. Getting a fantastic start. Bombing it already past our teammate. As we're going to take things a little bit slow here. I do see the cars slowing down for some reason, which does allow Magnussen to get past. But we're going to dive bomb quite a few cars here going into turn 3. Not sure who that is beside me. I think it's either Albon or Latifi, one of the Williams guys at least. We tried to go around the outside of Joe. Okay, we've made up a decent amount of positions already. We're in P18 as we're struggling for a position here with Albon. Gonna try and break later than him. Just carry that momentum around the outside. Okay, so far so good. I think we made up 6 positions already, which is not too bad. As I'm seeing the Red Bulls, Verstappen is quite low down, so I'm going to assume that he's also taken a grid penalty with his engine, because it's not like Verstappen to be that low, especially since he is a championship leader. All right, it seems as if our car might be a little bit off the pace here when it comes to Silverstone, because Joe is gaining on us really quickly, and it looks like he might actually go for the move on Schumacher here. Here he goes. He's going side by side with the Haas. See if he gets the move done around the outside. As for us, we could take an advantage. Oh my god. As for us, we could take an advantage. Oh my god. Don't know what happened there between Joe and Schumacher, but Zoe almost spun out and he almost collected us as well. That would have been horrifying to have that on our first lap of a home Grand Prix. Somehow, our cat-like reactions, fastest hands in the land, as Hayden Gillis would say, somehow managed to get around that and not get any damage from that. That's crazy. Okay, well, that's crisis number 1 avoided. Then we need to try and just get within a reasonable time of Schumacher here. Might have to use my ERS, but goddamn, guys, Jesus. Okay, so yeah, using my ERS now, just to try and get within that reasonable gap of Schumacher. I do think our car is just generally off the pace, just because, I don't know, I can feel it with the setup. The setup doesn't feel that great. And just looking at how some of the AI are operating in terms of their pace, it does seem as if our car is definitely the slowest on track. Even the Haas, you know, Schumacher is, I feel as if he's actually quicker, even though we're gaining on him due to our ERS usage. I'm just trying to navigate the car through these corners here. It's actually quite difficult. The car feels very, very understeery, and we've had quite a few upgrades. as of late. So the fact that it feels as bad, I don't know. It's quite confusing, but either way, just gonna have to try and maybe change up my driving style literally on the fly, just to try and get the best out of the setup and the best of how the car's responding to the track, really. Schumacher has been dropped by Ocon a little bit, who's currently sitting in P15 in the Alpine. So we're gonna have to try and maybe get past Schumacher here if we want to do anything. Maybe try and catch up to this train up ahead. As you can see, going through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, the understeer is very, very bad. There we go, we've got the RS. I'm gonna use a little bit of our ERS here to try and make the move happen. Go on the inside. Brake a little bit later, a little bit harder than we usually would. And there we go, got the move done on Schumacher, and now we're 1.6 seconds behind Esteban Ocon. Let's see if we can actually get ourselves onto this train. Okay, so we're still not yet within that DRS range, but we have made up a couple attempts. It's going to be a bit hard to really stay, well, not stay, but it's going to be a bit hard to try and get into this DRS, just because, you know, being the first man, or being in fresh air, clean air, whichever one you want to call it, is quite difficult to actually catch back up to the train, because they've still got the slipstream on each other. And obviously the DRS is really helping them, so we're really going to need to push the car and push ourselves if we want to actually get within the DRS here, as we've now lost the time that we've gained by the time we've actually made it around the track again. Oh, big slide through there. It's not going to be good for the rear tires. Should roughly be, I'm going to say roughly maybe 15 to 20% on the tire wear at this moment, but I will check in a minute. Yeah, 20%. So yeah, we're right. Roughly about 15 to 20% mark. We've now dropped to Mick Schumacher, who is now 1.3 seconds behind us, which is great. It shows that we do have pace. The only issue is, even though we're pushing quite hard, it doesn't actually look as if we're going to actually get into this train. So Schumacher losing sight of this train has really hurt us, because we're just going to continually lose a little bit of time. Alright, you know what? So far, we're not actually losing as much time as I thought we would. At one point, we were 2 seconds behind them, and now we're sort of at that 1.6 range behind this train. We're not losing as much time as I thought we would, but still, it's not ideal, the fact that we are sitting just outside of the DRS range here. I felt as if we could just sneak into it, then we would be able to actually catch up and be on the back of Esteban Ocon, but right now, not the case. Okay, I'm probably going to have to lift off a little bit more. Obviously, we are on regular corner cutting, as you know, but still don't want to necessarily abuse it too much. Might need to lift off just that little bit extra, so I'm not running too wide, and plus, you're not really gaining too much time from that. But it looks like one of the McLarens is actually leading this Grand Prix, which is interesting. I thought that the Mercedes would probably have worked out their development issues by now, because clearly they've been having development issues, and not just in real life, but in this modded career mode as well, due to the fact that McLaren seem to be outdoing them. Alright, come on. We're stuck in about 1.8, between 1.6 and 1.8 seconds right now to Esteban Ocon. We are in this horrifying dead man zone, you know? It's just, we're gaining on the car behind, but we're not gaining on the car ahead. Quite frustrating now. I'm really going to have to go for this undercut. I'm not sure when they're going to be pitting. Probably going to be pitting soon. So if I want to get into the DRS, I might have to actually pit within the next 2 laps. As Jeff tells me that we are increasing on Mick. Or actually Alex Albon now. By 5 tenths a lap. The car's getting a little bit more difficult to drive. But yeah, I've been thinking, I don't know if the undercut's going to really work here. Because the whole reason I'm trying to do this undercut is because I'm trying to get within the DRS. But if I go for the undercut right now, they've still got DRS on each other, which means they're going to be quicker and they could actually overcut us. Alright, whilst we're on our way to the pits, I am recording this on the Friday before the Australian GP. And I did make a poll on my channel. Make sure to go to my community tab, by the way, because I am going to start posting a lot more regularly there. But I did ask you guys who you thought was going to score the most points during this weekend out of Ferrari and Red Bull, and it was a resounding vote. A lot of you guys thought that Ferrari would score the most points as we head into the pits. Brake super hard here. There we go. Try to brake super late and super hard just to stop that risk from getting those 5-second penalty. But yeah, a lot of you guys thought that the Ferrari was going to score the most points. Obviously, by now, by the time you guys are watching this, you will know exactly who did. But yeah, I'm inclined to believe agree with you guys, just because I think Ferrari's been very, very strong since the beginning of the season. It'll be interesting to see how the new version of Australia, of the Melbourne circuit, actually flows during the race. I've seen a couple videos of it from the F1. I've seen Carlos Sainz's lap with the helmet cam. I've seen Charles Leclerc's new record lap, and it does look as if it flows a lot better in my opinion. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of the race, because as I said, by the time you guys see this, the Grand Prix would have already been done. Let me know what you thought of the Grand Prix. Let me know how you think the new track is compared to the older layout. But yeah, as you can see, coming out of the pits now, we are 5 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda. We are in dead last, but obviously that will change once everyone else has gone into the pits. I'm not sure how many people were on the mediums. It did look like the Red Bulls were on the mediums. Verstappen gone on the hards. What? Okay, I'm so confused right now, guys. Jeff's telling us that there is going to be rain in 10 to 15 minutes. You know what, guys? It might actually have been a smart decision. If it's going to be raining towards the end of the race, I could have actually just done a double soft stint. Okay, no information from Jeff about how much quicker Esteban Ocon is compared to us. But we've already lost like a second to him, so I'm going to roughly say we're a second slower on these mediums compared to him. So yeah, all I can do now is just hope and pray that the rain comes and that it's wet enough to change tires, just like we did at Austria, because right now we're stuck in no man's land and we have no hope of getting out of it. Yeah, we're not gaining at all on Ocon. He's just slowly gaining more and more time. All we can do now is just put in some consistent laps and hope that we see either a retirement, a safety car, or the rain. Okay guys, so as we come up to Stowe on lap 15, or lap 16, sorry. Yeah, not much is really happening. That's why you're seeing quite big skips between parts here as we go deep into the final chicane. Yeah, Jeff is still saying that rain is coming in 10 minutes, so I don't even know if the rain's actually going to arrive during the race. Because Jeff said that the rain was coming in 10 minutes, like 10 laps ago. Or at least it feels like it was 10 laps ago. So, I'm going to assume the rain isn't coming. So yeah, you're probably just going to see big chunks of skips throughout this segment of the race, just because there's nothing going on. It's literally just me basically doing hot laps by myself in this race. I mean, maybe hot laps are not the best choice of words, considering how bad I'm driving right now. But yeah, just laps. Because as you can see, we've now lost 6 seconds to the main train that we were trying to catch up to, which was Esteban Ocon up to, I'm assuming is either, I'm going to assume that's Yuki Tsunoda who's leading that train, and that Pierre Gasly is the one in the train with the Red Bulls. As it looks like Daniel Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton, and Lando Norris are all fighting for the win as we go super wide. And actually, I believe that is our first warning in the entire series. So yeah, that's how wide we went at Stowe. Our very first warning in the entire series. Yeah, according to Jess, it's 5 minutes until the rain. So, in all honesty, unless the rain comes down rapidly, as in it only takes a lap to get to Inters, I don't really see it raining at all. And as you can see, just from the lines that we're taking, the car is just not really handling that great. I mean, I don't know about you, but the clouds do look a bit more grey. And the track looks as if there's a wet line on it. But I know there isn't, because it's not raining, so not really much I can say or do in this situation. We are literally just stuck in no man's land. We're losing time to the train, and we're gaining time on the guys behind us. We're 10 seconds ahead of Albon and Schumacher now. We're clearly faster than them, but not fast enough to stick with that train of Esteban Ocon up until, who I assume is Yuki Tsunoda, or actually he's been overtaken by Fernando Alonso. And I wish I could see the development that's going on in the train up ahead, because taking a look at the mini-map, it does look like they're separating a little bit. Seems as if, let's take a quick look. Seems like it's only a 4-car train now. And Bottas is actually the one at the back. And there has been a little bit of a separation. The front two managed to get away from the back two, as Jeff does tell us that it's going to be raining very soon. It's imminent, but I don't know. I still don't think it's going to happen during the race, and if it does, probably going to be like the last lap or something. Oh, okay. Well, literally, as I was saying to myself that this was a pretty boring race, Nikita Mazepin decides to check out. That's him out of the Grand Prix. Now, remember, guys, the mod, the name-changing mod, doesn't actually work on the retirees. So when it says that this person's retired, it's not actually the name changer. So Nikita Mazepin retiring means that the person who retired in this race is actually Kevin Magnussen. Still something I think I need to really get used to, because I'm still not used to it. But yeah, there's Kevin Magnussen's car. He's out of this Grand Prix, and he parked in a pretty good position, meaning no safety car. I'm seeing a lot of fastest laps this race from the McLaren boys. And we've actually got a McLaren 1-2 as well. Absolutely dominating this race. I assume the Red Bulls would have probably been at the front if it weren't for their engine changes. I see a car going slow and a yellow flag, and it's an AlphaTauri. Is it Pierre Gasly or is it Yuki Tsunoda? Which one of them is going slowly? I don't think I've actually seen a notification saying someone's out of the Grand Prix yet, so looks as if they're still going as we get a huge lag spike. There it is, confirmed. It was Pierre Gasly who is out of this Grand Prix. They're just about to pass him. There he is. And actually, guys, on lap 24, just after Pierre Gasly retires, it's raining. It is raining now, but I don't think it's going to end up being enough. I don't see us going on to intermediates here. It has to literally be now if we want to go on intermediates. Because I doubt anyone's going to pit for the final lap. We're just going to firm it. And there's Lando Norris, who is currently leading this Grand Prix. Lando Norris going for his race win. I'm not sure how many that would be in the season. Might have to check. But yeah, I don't see us pitting to go on intermediates, guys. It does look as if the track's getting a little bit slipperier, but at the same time, it is the final lap. So either way, we just have to firm it until we get across the checkered flag. Speaking of checkered flag, Lando Norris has just passed the checkered flag to win the Silverstone Grand Prix, winning his home Grand Prix. Absolutely dominating, and his teammate, Danny Ricciardo, in P2, followed by a Mercedes. I'm not sure if that's George Russell or Lewis Hamilton. Guess we're going to find out once we actually cross the line ourselves. But yeah, what a race from McLaren. What a race. Lando Norris just getting fastest lap after fastest lap, and then going on to win the race. It looks like the McLaren car might be the car to beat at this stage of the season, guys. As we come up to the final couple of corners now. Honestly, we started in last place. Thought we could potentially get points depending on what happened, but sadly, it's just P15 for us. Okay, guys, so yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, that was a pretty boring race, but Lando Norris dominates this race and wins his home Grand Prix, followed by his teammate Danny Ricciardo, a 1-2 for McLaren, and then followed by George Russell in the Mercedes coming in P3. And then we have Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen having an outstanding race from P15, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and Fernando Alonso rounding off the points. And then outside the points, we have Lance Stroll, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda, myself, Alexander Albon, Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu, Nicholas Latifi, my teammate, and Pierre Gasly, who I believe did retire, but for some reason it says plus 3 laps. And then Kevin Magnussen in the Haas, as well as Pierre Gasly, ending up retiring in this Grand Prix. So let's check the standings and see exactly what's changed here. 72 points separate Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, as he is now past George Russell as the second place runner. It seems as if it's a battle for P2 at this moment of time, guys, in terms of the championship between Lando Norris and George Russell. Ourselves, we are currently still in P10, 4 points ahead of Yuki Tsunoda. And for the constructors, literally no changes. Red Bull are still 57 points ahead of Mercedes, who are in turn roughly, I believe, 14 points ahead of McLaren. Ourselves in P6, we are 15 points ahead of Alpine and 37 points ahead of Alfa Romeo, our two rivals. So maybe we should think about switching our rivals to Aston Martin instead of Alfa Romeo. who we're currently 17 points over. So yeah, let's head back into HQ and see if there's anything we need to do. Okay then guys, so yeah, not much to actually do once we got to HQ. The only thing we really needed to do was renew our secondary sponsor, which we've chosen Shark, and their requirements are to score more points than the team directly above you in the vehicle per performance comparison, which is currently Haas. So as long as we score points, we should be able to achieve that due to the fact that Haas still hasn't scored any points this entire season. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see you guys in my next video.